Hi everyone, welcome back to SlipTwpKnit. My name is Shelby and I come to you from Shelby Township, Michigan, which is where I do my knitting. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for giving me a chance. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and for giving me another chance, because I honestly don't know what made you want to watch another episode. So, for those of you who are new, and I explain this in every single episode, but anyway, my name is Shelby. Like I said, I'm from Shelby Township. Like I said, my name is Shelby. I'm from Shelby Township, and the local nickname for my hometown is Shelby Twp or the Twipp. So, being that my name is the same as my hometown, I decided I would do something about it, and I'm Shelby from the Twipp on my social media. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the name of my knitting podcast. So what I did was I took Twipp and the decreased stitch slip knit, and that's how I got SlipTwpKnit. That's how that goes. So this is actually going to be a short episode today. I have a finished object to show you though, so I'm really excited to do that because it's about time. So that's really all I've got going on right now. I have been kind of busy. Yeah, I've been kind of busy. I'm not happy about it. I just want to get back to knitting, but life has had other plans lately, and I guess sometimes that's just how it goes, I suppose. But I don't know. I'd really rather not. I'd rather just knit. So, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about my finished object, and then we can move on to other things that I may or may not be talking about. I don't know. I haven't decided. So, my finished object is the Greenfield socks. These are the socks that I've been working on basically since April for my friend Toni that I had to start over 12,000 times. So this is a pattern by Rachel Twp called the Greenfield sock, and here's what it looks like off the blocker. But on the blocker, it actually you might be able to see kind of like it's like a cabley argyle type pattern. And did I say who it's by? It's by Rachel Twp. This is the Greenfield sock by Rachel Twp. I've made these before. I made my mom a pair for Christmas last year. And my friend Toni, I'd like to make Toni socks because she's appreciative. She's very knit-worthy. These were supposed to be her birthday present. Her birthday's in June. Obviously, I did not meet that deadline, but that's okay. And I'm actually, even though I know Toni watches sometimes, Toni, if you're watching, you're not getting these until Christmas. I mean, did I give her anything for her birthday? I feel bad now. I'm a bad friend. It's okay. Her Christmas present arrived already, so she'll just get bonus socks for Christmas as well, in addition to her other Christmas present. So that's this pattern. I knit this out of the Berroco Ultra Wool Fine, which was in the color Rosemary. I friggin' love this color. I love this yarn. It's a super wash, but it feels like a woolly wool. It's got a really nice texture. And I knit this on a size US 0 because I'm one of those people whose gauge is really loose, which I find very weird because I never run into other people whose gauge is loose. Everyone else's gauge is tight, but not me. I'm the one who has to use the teeny tiny friggin' needles to knit stuff. But these, I blocked them. I tried them on actually, sorry Toni, and then I washed them and then I blocked them. So that's what is going on here. And this is my, this progress keeper. It's my little sand dollar from Lock and Lou. That's where I was in the last episode. So in the scheme of things, over the course of 2 weeks, I did hunker down and finish these, and I actually had a wedding last weekend, and I took my knitting with me, and the only thing that was I basically got to about here. I probably was It probably was yeah, it was probably about here, and then I went to that wedding and I did all that. And then here is just what I wrapped up this week. So I'm happy it's done. I'm proud it's done. And then just trying to figure out when I'm actually gonna feel brave enough to make myself a pair, because I really do like this pattern. And if you're newer to my channel, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with cables before, and to be very honest, when I started, like by the time I was on the second sock here, I love cables. So that's what I'm gonna probably have a few cable projects on the needles yet, which in my last episode, I did have another cable project on the needles, and that was my Daseki shawl. I always say sometimes I say shawl. I meant cowl with a C, and actually spelled cawl. Shawl and cowl are actually, in the scheme of things, not really even spelled exactly alike. Like phonetically, it doesn't make sense. Why do I have a hard time? I'm shawl, cowl, whatever, shawl. Anyway, I ended up, so my Daseki cowl by Thea Coleman, very excited, love knitting it, but I wasn't happy with the size. So I did ask in my last episode if I should start over or if I should just keep going. And actually a lot of people did say keep going, but I didn't. I decided that I was gonna just rip it out and start over, because in the scheme of things, I think it's just not the right length it's just not gonna be the right circumference that I personally want out of a cowl. So I did frog it, and I'm gonna be starting over at some point here in the near future. And I'm gonna be going up a needle size. So I was knitting it on a size 5 because the pattern calls for a size 7. Just knowing what my gauge tends to be, I went down 2 needle sizes. But like I said, it wasn't the right circumference I think I was gonna be looking for. So I decided that I'm gonna start over, and instead of working on a 5, I'm gonna try it on a 6 and see how that goes. But who knows, if I'm not happy with that, I might just rip that out and go up to a size 7 like the pattern says. It's just I just feel like it's very rare for me for my knitting to actually be for my gauge to be similar or close enough to what the pattern says. So that's what I'm doing with that. And then next, I know that I do have a couple of sock whips that are kind of just laying in the corner somewhere. I just don't want to work on them right now. So I think what I'm gonna do, actually what I know I'm gonna do, another knitting podcast which I watch and which I like, the Forest City Knit Girls, who, I mean, essentially being that I'm in the suburbs of Detroit and they are in London, Ontario, I'm gonna say that we are basically neighbors, even though it's still about 2 hours away. But anyway, I really like their podcast, and right now, even though it's mid-October, which I'm probably too late, but whatever, they're doing a sock knit along, and I decided that even though it's mid-October, I am going to cast on a new pair of socks to participate, and then I'll just, I probably won't finish it by the end of November, which is when it wraps up, but at least I can cast on and post it in the chatter thread and kind of participate that way. But I know what I'm going to do. I bought some Berroco Ultra Wool Fine from the same store that I bought the yarn for these socks not too long ago, and it's the Berroco Ultra Wool Fine in it's a yellow color. I don't actually know the color offhand, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to actually do a pair of socks by Helen Stewart, who you may know better as Curious Handmade. Did I mention the name of that pattern? I was talking about the Honeybee Dance by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade. but I don't know if I actually mentioned the name of the pattern. That's the one I'm going to be working on. And then actually, fun fact, I kind of went on a pattern buying spree recently because what else am I going to do with my money? So I've been talking to my friend Kelly from Miss Kel's Crafty podcast, and she has wanted to do for a really long time the Half Moon Oracle by Kristen Lehrer, who is also Volan Vine, most people know her as. So Kelly's always wanted to do a Half Moon Oracle, and I thought, well, why would it would be fun to do a knit along with Kelly. So I bought the pattern for it, and I kind of have an idea in my head of the color schemes I'm going for. The color scheme I kind of want to do in my head, I'm kind of thinking like kind of greens, some greens, some maybe if not silver, maybe like a cream color. I love cream and off-white as like I just like them. But I'm thinking that those will probably be good colors to go in there. So I did go online and I bought a skein of yarn that is kind of like a speckled or variegated one from Dragon Horde that I'm waiting for it to come, but I'm really excited to see how it looks in person. And then I'm gonna probably work through my stash based on like what goes with it, or I'll just base the rest of my, I'm gonna work the rest of my colors around that one, I think. So that's what I'm gonna be doing hopefully soon. She and I haven't really worked out details, which is fine because I realized that she and I did a knit along last year that I still haven't finished. It's been over a year that I've been working on that project. So I'm just learning that I'm not a sweater knitter, but I probably could do a shawl. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on right now as far as my knitting goes. And then in my last episode, I had talked about that coming weekend, I was going to be helping my aunt and her husband with their beehives and with harvesting the honey. So I wanted to show you I did want to show you what we got this year, and also just I do have several jars of honey from previous years still, so I gotta work on that. I gotta work on it. But it's fine. It's fine. It's honey. It's delicious, and I put it on my toast every morning. Well, one of them. Anyway, regardless, I'm gonna kind of walk you through. I'm gonna show you what the honey looks like this year. So, like I said in my last episode, the honey kind of varies year to year based on what the bees are eating. I think that this year's color kind of looks like apple jelly or apple juice. It's this bright golden color, and it's very sweet. It's delicious. And we got 4 gallons of honey from one beehive this year, and that was still making sure that they had enough to last them the winter, but we got 4 gallons of honey out of one. We got 4 gallons out of one hive. They have 3 hives. One they're not doing anything with. It's just an observation hive, and it's actually kind of cool. They kind of got it rigged up in they got like an observation deck in their basement to watch the bees and what they're doing. So that's really cool. I was watching the bees when I was over there a little bit before we really got started. And then they have a smaller hive in their backyard, which that one was kind of recent. It wasn't as established, so we weren't expecting much of anything coming out of that hive, which nothing came out of that hive. So actually at the end, when we were done working and harvesting what we got out of this, we took all of our equipment that was covered in sticky, delicious honey from a different hive. we took it out to them, to the smaller hive that didn't have, we were like, we don't know if they have enough for winter, so we gave that to them. So they're gonna pick it clean if they haven't already. So that is this year's honey, bright yellow, apple juice colored. And then I just wanted to compare it to previous years as well. So this is the honey from 2018. Like I said, it's kind of, in my last episode, I kind of said it's like a dark amber. It's beautiful. And this is what I put on my toast every morning. Beautiful, rich amber color, very, very delicious. So that's the one I put on my toast every morning. And then I broke the seal. Shit. Don't tell anyone. Okay. And then this you can't see because the jar itself is tinted, but this is the color of the honey from 2019. And actually, if I turn it on its side, it doesn't, you see it doesn't really spill. I'm keeping an eye on it in case it does, but it's like, it's at room temperature, it's basically the consistency of, it's kind of like, it's got a buttery texture to it, I suppose, is the way that we might describe it. But this is, and this one tastes, has a texture kind of like buttercream frosting. So that's what this one looks like. So again, it's just kind of interesting. To me, it's just kind of interesting what the differences are, because based on what the bees are eating. And then another thing that I got from my aunt and her husband was my aunt's husband had traded some honey to someone who said that he had his own like maple syrup, and that's in this jar. We don't know what it is, but I don't think it's maple syrup. It tastes, it has a honey, like it tastes like a cross between honey and molasses, if I'm being very honest. So I kind of want to play around with it and see if I can make molasses cookies. Obviously, actually no, I'm not even going to take the lid off, because you can see, like, you know, you can see how liquid it is. So there's no turning this on its side, it would spill. So that's the mystery substance that we don't really know what it is, but who knows, it might be delicious. I mean, it tastes like honey, it tastes like molasses. I can do something with it, I'll make it work. So that's what's going on. That is it. That's really all I have to say for this episode. I know it was kind of short, but today I'm going over to Greenfield Village, which is it's an attachment of like the Henry Ford Museum, and it's honestly, I friggin' love Greenfield Village. It's one of my favorite things, and I'm a member there, so I try to go when the weather's nice and stuff. But they do have they have like a Halloween type event. They also have a holiday event too, which I went to a couple years ago, but I'm gonna go with my friend Courtney today to see the Halloween one, which I've never been to before. And I'm excited to see that. I think it'll be a good time. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to do at Greenfield, like, really, there really is not a whole lot to do at Greenfield Village unless you like walking. And it's definitely, you know, it's not, I mean, I assume, I mean, it might be kind of similar to, it might be not dissimilar to going to a zoo or to a museum. You know, there's not a ton of hands-on activities, but you walk around, you see stuff, they have exhibits, and you know, you kind of see they have just a whole little street of houses that people used to live in the old days. So you know, there's like a 1930s cabin that has, you know, a tin roof, and I think they have like an old tin sign holding a patch on the roof. They've got an old house from is that the 15th century? No, 7th. They have a 17th century house from Massachusetts that they had shipped over piece by piece and rebuilt it, along with a windmill. So a lot of really cool stuff that I just like to go see, even though it doesn't change very much. It's not, Greenfield Village does not change much, pretty much at all, that I know of, although they are putting in something new. Last time I went a couple weeks ago, and they are putting in something new, but it's not gonna be done today. It's for some other time, I suppose, but yeah. I really like Greenfield Village. It's one of my favorite places in the world, and I'm so excited to go. That's basically the gist of it. I really like going there, like a lot. So much. Okay. I'm gonna stop talking now because I have run out of things to say. So thank you again for taking the time to watch. I know that these episodes aren't really that exciting. And in the meantime, you'll see me again in about 2 weeks. And hopefully then I will have part of a sock, maybe part of a cowl, cables. You're gonna see cables, hopefully. And then otherwise, have a great day. And also, if you watched all the way to the end, please comment below and tell me, for Halloween, are you like a scary person, or do you like it just, you know, kind of cute and spooky? Well, actually, no. Are you a scary person? Are you a spooky person? Or are you a spoopy person? I actually think I'm probably more spoopy. But that's okay. I'm definitely more spoopy. I like cute Halloween. I can deal with spooky. I don't like scary. I do not. No. I don't like scary. I don't like scary movies. I don't do anything scary. But I don't mind spooky, but I'm definitely probably more of a, I'm gonna say spoopy. Spoopy might not be the right word. I think spoopy kind of means like cute Halloween decorations, like smiley pumpkins and not scary pumpkins. Yeah, that's like a ghost who is, you know, the kind of ghost who just is basically, you know, like when the Charlie Brown crew all dressed up as ghosts in the Charlie Brown Christmas special. There were no ghosts in the Charlie Brown Christmas special. You know, in Charlie Brown, when they all dress up like ghosts for Halloween, that's what I mean, spoopy. I don't know if that's actually the definition of the word spoopy, but that's okay. Oh, maybe future Shelby. Future Shelby can maybe put the definition of spoopy right here in this space. And now I'm holding it in case she puts it in, which is to say, Shelby, you need to put it in there. Okay. Otherwise, yes. So tell me comment below, are you scary, spooky, or spoopy? And then I'm gonna let you go because I've been dragging this out for the last 2 minutes. All right. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you again in about 2 weeks. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch again, and happy knitting.